fetch the priest. They are so keen to tell me his wishes, they can do just as well letting him know mine." The king spoke clearly, making sure no person was unaware of his intentions. The two advisers chose not to protest as they walked to the doors. Everyone else in the room remained silent as they waited for the priest to arrive. The king broke the silence again, addressing his son. Emmett stood by the steps of the throne, his hands now behind his back, awaiting directions from his father. "While we wait on the priest, we may as well start the proceedings. Have you had any thoughts on which type of affinity you would like to receive, my son?"
"My king, I would be honored to receive any affinity. I recognize that with diligence and patience, I will be able to rise to great heights with any affinity. Should we not wait for the priest so that this can be done formally?"
"Yes, you are correct, my son, and I believe you have the aptitude to master any affinity. With that said, this is a celebration. Let us be braggarts for a moment. Who needs the priest? I have taken the test myself, and it was a trifling thing. Do not worry. If you could choose any affinity, which would you select? At my ceremony, we made a game of guessing what I might get. I guessed incorrectly, but it was my mother who guessed it the closest. The woman called herself an oracle until her dying days." The king began to laugh. Everyone in attendance laughed as well.
"A royal affinity was a true achievement, my king," Emmett said, "as though the goddess herself approved of your appointment as king. That is what my tutors tell me, at least."
"Yes, my father was happy to have raised such a regal child, even if it meant his time on the throne was limited. As you know, the affinity was unheard of, but I was able to use it to conquer countless dungeons and battlefields."
Emmett acknowledged his father with true respect. He had grown up learning about his father's ambitions and triumphs. In his youth, the royal affinity had manifested skills truly fit for a king, skills that he would use to bring the kingdom of Prost great prosperity. "I would be overjoyed to receive the same affinity, but as I said, I would be just as content to receive the more common sword affinity. I know I could do many great things." Emmett and his father continued back and forth until the doors opened again. It had only been 10 minutes since they had left, but the two advisers, Francis and Howard, walked into the throne room with the priest following close behind. In his hand, he held a cloth bag and nothing else.
"Wonderful. Come closer, priest." The king waved him forward. "I heard you had tried to go against the wishes of the kingdom. Thankfully, it seems you have come to your senses."
The two advisers found their spots to the side of the king as the priest stood beside Emmett at the bottom of the steps.
"Nothing of the sort, Your Majesty. As you know, it is a tradition that the ceremony is held within the church's back chambers. Very few people are permitted in those quarters."
"Yes, priest, but we had spoken about having it here. The crown prince is old enough and will not wait like all of the other children."
"Yes, Your Majesty, but that is why I have prepared everything in the private church here. The goddess does not have a place in these chambers."
"That is where you have it wrong, priest. The goddess is always with me in my chambers. This place is just as holy as any room of your church. The goddess and I have a true connection that you would do to remember. I am your king."
The priest lowered his head and did not respond.
"Good. Now, moving forward, I forgive you and your behavior. Do you have everything you require to perform the ceremony right here, now?"
The priest raised his head slightly, but only to face the torso of the king.
"Your Majesty, I have brought the goddess's statue here, but I would at least ask that the ceremony remain private. There are too many witnesses, and I worry that this will cause issues."
"Fine. Everyone except the priest and the crowd."